right, here we go. CJRB Hectare. I did an unboxing of this, so you can check that out. But this is the full review of this knife. I have been carrying this around for about a week, and the short version is I like it. I would recommend it. And there's only some very, I would say, minor, not criticisms even, but more like I wish kind of like things about this knife that I wish were a little bit better, a little bit different. But $50, you're gonna get. This is probably up there in terms of the kind of quality you can expect for that price range. It's not an expensive price, I wouldn't say. I would say that when you get to the hundred above upwards of $100, you're starting to get a little pricey. But anything between I'd say $50 to $100, you're getting a pretty good knife, and it's just going to vary in terms of what you're looking for and who the manufacturer is. So this knife is from CJRB, and it is distributed out of China, I believe. This is using RPM9 blade steel, which is a stainless steel. Not exactly budget, but it's not quite up there in the premium range. So, $50 sounds about right for this. I think that part of the reason why this is the price that it is not necessarily because of the steel, but because of this crossbar lock. Now, this is CJRB's, I believe it's CJRB's first foray into the crossbar lock territory. The patent on crossbar locks has expired. I forget how many years ago, but different manufacturers are coming up with their own versions of this. In terms of CJRB's execution of the crossbar lock, as you saw right there, I think the tension on the spring is a little high. I'm used to my Hogue Deca, which has a crossbar lock, and I really came to enjoy it because of that. I didn't want to shell out for the Benchmade bug out because it was just a couple bucks more expensive, and I wanted to just get the MagnaCut steel. I don't believe there's a MagnaCut version of the bug out, at least at the time that I purchased it. um, and the MagnaCut is definitely a premium blade steel. This is, I'd say, an upgraded budget steel if I had to classify it. Now, what I want to compare it to is a familiar, the CJRB Feldspar. Now, because these are the same manufacturer, you gotta kind of assume that they're using the same, I'd say, logic or methodologies for pricing these two options. Now, last I checked, the Feldspar in this trim is roughly $35. So there's about a $15 difference between these two blades. Why is that? I think large in part because of the blade steel, D2 versus RPM9. The stainless steel and the quality of the RPM9 is better than the D2, depending on what you're looking for. I am looking for stainless. I don't necessarily need a very, very hard tool steel, and that's what D2 is. Also, because of the crossbar locking mechanism, it does up its production cost in terms of the engineering and the parts to it. The Feldspar just has a classic liner lock, which is a very, very well known locking mechanism that a lot of manufacturers use. And also you notice here that the Hectare is a larger knife, a little bit in the blade, but I would say more notably in the handle. It really provides a full grip. I have about medium-sized hands, and someone with a bigger hand really could, if they wanted to. They can even use this choil right here to choke up on it and get a larger grip. It also has this jimping on the back of the blade, which gives it a bit more texture and confidence in the hand. Whereas the Feldspar, it is a notably smaller knife, and the choil here is much smaller, so you don't quite get the same kind of confidence. But because it is a small knife, you can really get a lot of contact with it and manipulate the blade if you need to. It does not have any jimping on the back of the blade. So, but again, because it's a very small blade, you don't really quite need it as much. One thing that I really like about the feldspar is how snappy it is. It just shoots out there, locks in place. It feels great, sounds great. I also like the lines. You know, they're very very classic. Kind of looks like an airplane flying through the air. Whoosh. Anyway, um, so the feldspar is a good knife. I wouldn't say that it's bad at all. I would recommend it for anyone who is looking for a more affordable, cheaper option for an EDC. As for the Hectare, I would recommend this one as well. $15 for some, yeah, that is notable in terms of an up in price, but I do think you are getting $15 worth of of higher quality in this purchase. The options for opening it, it's more than one. You can use the crossbar lock, you can reverse flick, you can slow roll it with your thumb. I really like the finger safe um, option for closing the knife. It's your fingers stay out of the path of the blade. Really, the only thing that I would say that I could be critical about this blade is the tension on this crossbar lock, and that may be something that gets rectified just from repeated use and repeated uh, playing with this knife. The pocket clip, it's pretty good. It's definitely improved over some other pocket clips I've had. I think it could use just a bit of loosening, but it hasn't really been problematic for me. So yeah, that's my review of the CJRB Hectare. I would highly recommend the pink version. I love it. It makes me very, very happy. It makes me think of my daughter, and one day this will be hers. So until next time, stay safe. Don't mess up your blades.